Hi everyone, Lord Crew here, and welcome to my channel. So the topic for today is about the weekend rank meta analysis and update for weekend rank week 133. So without further guys, let's proceed. So usually I break down the meta analysis per god, but for this week because there will be a new update coming, or like the new core refresh and new core card will be released later March 7 around 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. So technically anything that I mention or like analysis for this week will not affect the next weekend rank, because usually what will happen is like I tell you like for this week this is the meta, and then next week high chance like player will use the same deck or like might use the same meta for the next weekend rank. But because of the core refresh, it might be reset and start over again. But I will just give you a summary for overall weekend rank week 133. So first of all, we're gonna check the matchups, and as you can see, that's still the number one god meta. It has like a 53.5% win rate, higher than previously. And as you can notice, death and nature are like the only one that's on more than 50% total win rate. And FYI, if you notice, nature last week it's around 35%. Now it adds 5% more. And I believe that's because of the Sage of Renewal. Lots of player played either a mid-range, like a Sage mid-range nature, or like a Sage nature control. So it literally happens. It adds more. And if you notice, also, light was like the poorest last week and still the poorest gods with 45% or 46% win rate. War is the second most poor win rate. I believe the main reason for this one is two things. The frenzy aggro, or the aggro meta for war, literally has like a lowest win rate there, but the control war has the still the highest. And as you can notice, uh war is still the second most popular, but compared with for the past few weeks and months, usually war has like more than 25%. It get lower and lower because of the nerf, and you can see from, I believe last week it's 25%, now it's 19%. I believe all the 5% that came from nature, that added to nature, were majority from war. And the third most popular are deception. There are lots of players now are playing deception. He's the third most popular, and as you can see, he's like also most the like the third most highest total win rate here. So technically, the meta are shifting majority into nature, and lots of win rate now in the depth. So if we're gonna check more the archetypes, this is like the overall archetype, and as you can see, board wipe are almost increasing its total win rate. I believe last week is around like 63%. Now it's 68. Why? Because the number one counter for nature, and if you notice here, 80%, 70% are board wide deck. If there are like 40% nature, technically board wide deck will have like more win chance, and that's the main reason why it increased its total win rate here. And if you compare with like the overall control, war is still one of the dominant deck here. And it's around the same percentage as last week. It's just like the problem is like the aggressive archetype of war, like the aggro and even the frenzy, literally make the war meta or the war god lower in total win rate. But as you can see, control war is still and up on the positive side, still 54%. Compare, I think for the past 4 months, because of a lots of nerf happened. Previously it was like around, I believe, like 60%. It get lower and lower and lower, and but as you can notice, the popularity is still the same. I believe they're like the same as last week. It's just like the board wipe deck, 33.7% is still the same as last week. And if we compare that on week 132, death is still the number one meta. Now, still the death is still the number one meta for this week. So nature control, the uprise of control nature, Probably it was like dominate last week. It was dominated by the aggro nature, but because Sage of Renewal came, it boosts the percentage win range of the control nature and even the mid range. So the mid range is this is like considered in the past the big beast. Uh, he has like still the most popular 21.6%, followed by the control nature. But because of the Sage of Renewal, uh, it boosts the control nature. If you have like seven casting costs and above, more than three. So for example, if I have two Sage of Renewal and then Guerrilla Gardener, that's already three cards total. You are considered control nature. But if you have like two seven casting cost creature and below, like maximum of two, then you're considered a mid range. So technically, people if they play Sage of Renewal, they add one more, like probably Juton or the Guerrilla Gardener. So that's why they become now control nature, and that's this one has the highest win rate compared with the mid range one. And Agri Nature suddenly become lower its win rate. Last week it was so dominant. It was like around 53%, but now because of Sage of Renewal, I believe uh people now are managed to able to do control more, especially on the late game, like on the seven casting cost. Agrolight went down in the past. Agrolight was like on the positive side, like more than 50%, but it went low because probably I believe like because of the control, the nature are getting stronger and they're like still playing a war control. Agrolight is poorest, but still he has like the most positive win rate against board wipe deck, as you can notice. Card draw magic is getting popular also. Same mechanic, the tempo aggro especially. It is good win rate versus board wipe deck, especially if early rounds lots of creature has like a uh yeah, that's lots of creature with ward. So I believe all of this deck archetype will be same next week, but they may add some special tech cards from the core refresh and from the new core card. And that's we will figure out that one on the next weekly rank, or once the core refresh and core cards release later on, then people will start playing in this one. Now we're gonna go now to the deception. Still order deception are went down. Usually it's the deception order deception still on that this below 50%. He has still had one of the highest popularity, as you can see. uh but there's something lacking on the order deception. Who knows? But this core refresh, they might be boost up. So we will figure. We will find it later. And now, if we're gonna go for the death necking, as you can see on the top 20 on the weekend rank, this weekend rank top 20, it is still dominated by the board wipe deck. And in last week, there are only like seven board wipe deck, like on weekend rank week 132, and week 133, it's 12 of them. 12 who managed to get to enter using board wipe deck. Uh, uh, 5 in natures, where they are like 3 control nature and 2 mid-range nature. Two wars. Usually war are like more than 5. Now war are only 2. They've been outranked by nature because of the Sage of Renewal, mid-range and control nature. War, they are like one aggro and one control, like control war. And magic, there's only one magic who entered the top 20 and he's using a tempo aggro, like a combination with tempo aggro. So if we're gonna check H Pain, we're still using his same deck as always. As you can see, 120 match played. He always entered the top 10. For the past 2 weeks, he never entered, but he came back using the same build. Control nature, as you can see, Sage of Renewal, and using Vibebound Juton instead of Guerrilla Gardener, but same, similar play style like a mid-range one. It's just like additional of one seven casting cost and above, but still same play style as the mid-range one that I posted. Board wipe deck, another a variation of board wipe deck here by Holden. An aggro war, the only aggro war that entered the top 20. So kudos. The good thing is about this is like a budget type, so player can still copy. Who knows this one? If someone's like update this one, probably on the core refresh, it might be added by some of the Vikings. That's what I foresee in the new core refresh. A Viking aggro will enter now for the war here. Board wipe deck. The good thing about the board wipe deck is that high chance this will be still the most popular deck on the next weekend rank, especially for the veteran player. They have to do nothing because the only thing that are not included now in the board wide deck are the portable fortress. Portable fortress now will become a magic card, and he has like one strength, not no longer zero. So that will not able to use this one. End times the one that's affected also, but I believe it's a good nerf. Instead of summon 9/9, it's summon 6/6. Doesn't matter if how many creature died in the board. So that's a I believe that's okay. That's a buff. And there's literally no changes overall on the board wipe deck because they never touches the Blight Bomb, Virax the same, Blight Bomb, uh some player who use Blight Bomb are still the same, almost the same for everything, even Virax. So high chance we will same the same archetype or same deck build. Um And I used to see there are like variation, but it's just like more on the in games, but it doesn't really affect here. So this is the card draw, the only one who entered the card draw magic. And he's still the twist about this one, he's using only spell sword and scepter artistry. So it's like combining the spell boost and an aggro at the same time. So this is like a hybrid for them. Usually you have like aggro only or spell, but now he's trying to make it up. And as you can see, he has no monolith here. He's using the mages, and I believe he's trying to either try to aggro you. If it does not become successful, he will like spell you. That's why he has still epiphany here and spell boost. Uh, board control, same board control. Uh, Same board control here, same board control, end game still the same. Control nature, as you can see, Sage instead of Jutron, he used Guerrilla, but almost similar to a mid range. And then this the mid range one, similar on my budget deck. I created almost similar on this one, but it's a budget. I don't have underbrush boss, so check it out in my YouTube channel. But I'm still using the four big six. So a giant dual giant pangolin, one hunt and one sudden bloom. Here he used dual the hunt, dual giant pangolin, and two sage of renewal. If he wants to make this a control nature, he just need to simply remove Monoshonian and add probably Guerrilla or Uton here. Then it will be now considered as a nature control. Board wipe deck, this is like I believe the traditional board wipe deck. As you can see, the overall it's played 1043.9. This was like popular way back before by ANP, who managed to get 25 out of 25. So he's playing the same. So we might still see the same deck on the next weekend rank because there's no changes on this one. Hopefully, there will be a new meta deck that will counter this one, like magic, probably a spell magic or light, if the comeback of light. Same board wipe deck, board wipe deck, board wipe deck. Control war. This is like similar to the control war. So the high chance there will be a control war on the next weekend rank, especially because there's no nerf on the Carnage. They will still have a Carnage ship combo. Probably the one that has been nerfed in the control war is Hector. No more leech, front line, and flank. But he will become a 7/7 with Blitz, Protected, and Twin Strike. I think the good thing will be the additional will be Grendel. Grendel is so powerful. He become a 6 casting cost. He can be partnered now with Hitrakus here. Some player has using Aeneas, and if you don't have Aeneas, then you have Grendel now to use. So that's like the good part of this on the control war will be the same meta as probably almost exactly same build except like for the additional of Grendel. So board wipe deck, control nature, same thing. Yeah, he has two Monosonian here, so technically, he only one giant pangolin. So the six casting cost supposed to be four, now became three. He added Guerrilla Gardener and technically same. So one thing that I like probably be added on the nature will be the replace some brazen moose, and that will be added by the Veil Warden. And I like the Veil Warden. If we check the Veil Warden here, as you can see, it adds faction wild. It's afterlife. Instead of heal 4, afterlife now he's heal 3. It adds 7 mana cost wild creature here. Imagine if that dies, it will add your 7. You will have the opportunity to get more big 7 casting cost. And if we're gonna check on the GU regarding what are the wild 7 casting costs. You can have Burnish Bull, Cyclops, even Arconian Hydra or charging Onyx here or Blazing. So you have like opportunity to have an extra big creature for later on the game, and that's what I believe will be added in the mid range or uh and in the control archetype of the nature, and especially also for the nature mag instead of using Rabid Bear, you might add now the Managa Ganmar or even Giantess. So the probably the new archetype that coming this weekend are Amazon using with the same nature or control wide. So Amazon, who knows, might be the rise of Amazon. Especially Jeremy has been buffed, it become a 3/3. But I believe for the nature control and mid range, we might see Veil Warden and Managmar will be added. Will be added. So if we go here, so yeah, Managmar will be added. Uh, it become now a 3/2 cast 3/4. We will replace Rabid Bear, added now with the Stag, Celestial Stag, and Veil Warden. So who knows, Amazon will be get popular for the next weekend rank. And as you can see, there will be so now as you can notice on the top 20, there's no deception and there's no light. But who knows, the ever since like for the past couple months, there's no order deception entering the top 20. But who knows, they might have the opportunity. But it might be a guild order build deck or even a hidden deck because on the core refresh there are lots of hidden new cards, and on the guild on the order, there are lots of guild cards that have been added now on the core refresh. So who knows? There it will be order, hidden, or the three is the comeback of the sleep deception. Okay, so especially the torso piece instead of six casting cost five. So who knows? Sleep deception, three archetype that may return or make deception popular. Order deception, guild or hidden guild, hidden nether, or the sleep deception. For the light, they never implemented the base 2 strength for the Asterius. So technically what happened, Asterius still Asterius, and the base 2 strength that's supposed to they gonna want to implement or was like posted on the PTR was not implemented. So uh who knows, we will have this a zoo light, or we will might have like a control light, because the good thing is some of the good spell destroyers of light has been buffed, and who knows, that might be a next level of control. So if we have like board wipe deck and control war, control nature, now we might have like a control light and a zoo aggro. So who knows, and the good thing is the chosen one, they've been updating those chosen one cards like the illuminate warrior and the triumvirate, probably additional for the zoo aggro or zoo light. Okay, so that's it, guys. So that's the end of the weekend rank week 133 meta update. So hopefully you enjoy it. So if you like the video, kindly please subscribe and like. And if you have like question or suggestion, kindly please give me a comment. Send me a comment. And thank you for watching and see you next time.
There's a distance between